You've made it to the end of your job interview. There's just one question left, and you know what that question is because you always get asked it. But surprisingly, the answer to this question seems to be hugely controversial, and people have extreme views as to how you should answer this question. So let's hear what people think you should do when you get asked the question that you are going to be asked at the end of your interview. Right at the end of your interview, they are going to ask you, "So, thanks for the interview. Do you have any questions for us?" It's hard to know what to do for the best here. Should you ask a question to seem interested? If so, how are you going to pick the best question to ask? Or does asking a question make it seem like you just haven't prepared properly because anything you want to ask, you could have found out in advance? It's hard to know what the right thing to do is, and people seem to fall on extremes of feeling that you definitely should answer this question or you definitely should not answer this question. Some people feel strongly that you should always ask a question here. They are not saying, "Do you have any questions for us?" as a platitude. They're saying it as an opportunity for you. And if you miss this opportunity, you're missing the chance to boost your odds of getting the job. This is a chance to show that you've done your research for the role, to get that opportunity and that edge in, to show that you have a deeper understanding of what's involved in the role. And if you've got some questions prepped for this, you're going to feel confident all the way through your interview, right to the very end when the interview is over and you leave the room. The other extreme here is to never ask a question at this point. You are not going to score points for this answer. It's not going to be scored. I've never been in a panel where anyone gets points for this. So the only thing you can do here is make it worse for yourself, not better. The interview is over. It's time to bow out gracefully. You should have asked any questions you wanted to ask before you got to this question. You're not going to be able to add anything here. Just say something like, "Thanks, but I don't have any questions to ask. I was able to meet with so-and-so before the interview and they were able to answer all the questions I had." So with these two opposing views, how do we know what the right thing to do is? It's really difficult. There are some things that should definitely be off limits in this question. So don't ask anything about money, don't ask anything about rotas, don't ask anything about leave or holidays. It's just not the time or place to get into that. It's not that these things shouldn't be discussed, of course they should, but it's not the time to do it at the end of the interview. Also, only ask a question if you really have a question, so don't just make up a question for the sake of it. Make sure it's authentic. It's got to be something that you genuinely want to know, because otherwise the panel are going to see right through you. Some questions that people have suggested would be good options here are, once in this role, where would you expect me to be in 12 months time? So this is one that gives them an opportunity to say what they want from you. It also has the advantage of putting yourself in the role in your mind and in the minds of the examiners. What do you find is the best thing about working in this organisation? That can allow them an opportunity to think positive thoughts about their workplace and for you to be able to nod and be excited about the possibility of working there. When should I expect to hear from you is one that's fairly neutral to ask. So it's a simple question. You're asking something if you feel like you should, but it's not going to be in depth. What you don't want to be doing at this time is opening a very lengthy conversation, because most of the panel will have timed the interview so that your slot has got to the end by the point where you get to ask this question. So whatever it is should be a brief interaction. Asking when you'll hear from them is going to have a quick answer, but means that you have asked something. Or you can just ask nothing and say, "No thanks, I've had all my questions answered." Any of these options are good, but you may as well have decided what you're going to do in advance, because it will avoid you having to worry about that question when you get to the end. I think the key to remember here is this isn't going to be the question that makes or breaks your interview. The core part of the interview is the stuff that you've done already and the stuff that you did when you met people in advance. Whatever you decide here, just make sure it's something that you're comfortable with. Make sure it's something that is not controversial and is not going to undo all the good work you've done in your interview. And then once you made your decision, just go for it. You know this question is going to come up at the end, so have your plan prepped and ready to go, and you will be confident until the very end of your interview. If you like this video, you'll enjoy my video here on how to choose good examples to use at your interview.